Awesome. Welcome, guys. Happy 12:30 Eastern for our first rebirth of our Wednesday mindset trainings. Y'all, we're so fired up. Thank you for being here. As y'all know, listen, if you've never been on these before, we used to do this before we combined with Wellness Rev, which was the greatest decision that anyone has ever made, by the way, combining with Wellness Rev. But we dropped this call and we replaced it with some Thursday training. But we're going to bring this back because everyone has told us over and over again, this time and this 30 minutes here, this day of time really works well for people. So we're going to bring it back. So we're excited about that. And so great to see you. This is what we do every Wednesday at 11:30 Central, 12:30 Eastern. We're just going to share what's on our hearts. So whether it's myself or Sarah or Jay or whoever it may be, any of you other leaders, we just guys we do stuff on here that mostly, to be honest, isn't practical. Like we're not going to tell you exactly what to say in a response to a message that you got. Although sometimes it will be that. This is just more about mindset, leadership, trying to make us better just as individuals and as people. So is that okay? That's kind of what we're doing here. Hey, first thing that I want to address is you guys have all seen it. Kendall's made a decision, Kendall Weldon, to go back with Monate and do things over there again. And I just want it to be as clear as it possibly can be. Everyone on this call is an entrepreneur. You are allowed to do anything and everything that you want to do. We support that. We 100% want you to go where God's calling you, wherever that is and wherever your heart is. Obviously, we don't agree with that decision for ourselves. You will not find any of us going back to Monate. We love this business. We love LifeWave. We love where we are. We love David Schmidt. We love X39. We love where we are. So I want to make it very clear. Joe and I are going absolutely nowhere. Lord willing, this is the last direct sales company that we ever build, right? And so this is where we are. I want to make that very clear. However, wish Kendall and Tyler all the best. I love them. I wish them all the best. I'm not on social media, so I have really no idea what's going on, but I've heard a lot's going on. But we love where we are. So hear me clearly there. Sarah, I would love real quick, if you don't mind, before we get into some other things, can you just share again? Because these kind of things remind me, like when you see somebody transition, which by the way, this is life, guys. This is going to happen all the time in any business that you're in. I always like giving the analogy of like you're a franchisee and you open up, I think I usually say Chipotle. So I want you to imagine that you open up a Chipotle. I think the average startup cost is, 300,000, something like that to be a franchisee of a Chipotle. So you go in, maybe you mortgage your house, second mortgage on your house. Maybe you get a loan. Maybe you borrow from family. Maybe you have the cash, but you're all in, right? You're all in. And then you start hiring. Now, who usually on average works at a place like Chipotle? Usually it's people that they don't think that job is going to be their job forever and they're going to retire with you, right? Usually it's high school kids, college kids, people in between things, second gigs, whatever, gig economy. Do you think it would be a little bit foolish to think if a few people left after a few months, like, what the heck? Like, how am I going to build my Chipotle business? I had three employees leave today and they went and they started working at, Starbucks. Like, that doesn't even make rational sense when you think about it, right? No. Like you risked your livelihood on Chipotle and the franchisee. You will hire anyone, you will rehire anyone, you will fire when you need to fire, you'll work when you need to work extra, you'll do whatever it takes because you have everything invested, right? One person coming and going, five people coming and going does not affect you. In fact, Jay, I'm thinking of your story right now, which I'd love for you to share when you were in the insurance business. That's the same thing here. For any of us to be involved in any business and expect people to stay forever is foolish. That's just not how it is because everyone's entrepreneurs and everyone's going to chase things as they want to chase things and pursue things as they want to pursue things. So totally normal. But Sarah, where I was going with that is I was reminded of why we joined LifeWave in the first place and why
Mhm.
we felt like it was worth stepping away from substantial residual income that we could have just wrote out for a long time, who knows how long, and we chose to do this business. And it was because of what you and Devin shared with us about LifeWave. So will you just share again, like why'd you join LifeWave and why are you here?
Well, thank you so much, Kyle. And again, to reiterate what he said, I love Kendall. I wish her the best. I've talked to her almost every day. This has been a decision didn't just make out of the blue. She loves the beauty space, and that's where she's happy. For me, it's like nails on a chalkboard. Like you'll never see me in the beauty space. You know what I mean? So we all have different needs. You know what I mean, and desires. And I love her to death. And I hope you guys know there's no drama. We are all happy for her. All is well. Most of her leadership is on this call, still running with us. So we're great. We're good to go. Okay. So, with that being said, I've been in this industry since I was 18 years old. I took a couple year hiatus, but I've been actively working in direct sales for 17 years. To be completely transparent with you guys, my husband and I have made over almost $15 million in network marketing. I have seen companies who are startups run to the top. So is Kyle. And they ran really quick and they came down really quick, right? And then LifeWave was the first company that I joined that was a legacy company. And for many, many years, I always admired people who have put the time in, who've built organizations. Everyone has a different timeline. Some people have influence to where they can do that quickly, or they're blessed by the good Lord, what you would call lucky, and it happens quickly. But most people, it takes time to develop, to build relationships, to grow in this industry. This is the people business, okay? And the people that I've seen have lifelong success in this industry. They do it with companies that are not built off of hype. They do it with legacy companies. And my biggest fear stepping back into this space was to go and build something and identify with something, and then it crumbles from beneath me. So having a strong foundation was the number one most important pillar for Devin and I, because I do not want to jump into the next best thing. I have no desire. Just like Kyle said, this is my last thing, last time, hopefully forever. And I see that in LifeWave. So just to ground us, I don't want to hype you guys up. Sometimes we hear the things because the presentation, this business is all about duplication. So you hear the numbers and you hear the things, but that's really what is the number one selling point in LifeWave are these things. Because when people feel uncertain and what people don't need is excitement. They need clarity, they need facts, and they need vision. Okay. So LifeWave is not just a company trying to figure it out. Most of these companies, they join on hype. They join on what's the next biggest thing. They create a company around hype. This company was founded in 2004. We've been in business for over 20 years. Most other companies, they don't even make it past 5 years. Telling you guys, or they maybe hit their peak at 5 years and then they start to go down a little bit because they're riding off one thing hype, okay? And they're competing in very competitive spaces. So, right there, we are already in a category of companies that have proven that they can last. We're in over 100 countries. I've never seen a company in over 100 countries. That's a big deal, okay? We've over 80 clinical studies, science proving that our technology works. It's the forefront of LifeWave. And we have over 200 patents that are issued and pending. Every single thing that David creates is patented. So we have exclusivity, and real companies have intellectual properties, right? They're not just building on hype. So for me, all of those things, that's why we make it such a point to point it out in every single meeting. And I really love what Jay's done for our team, really identifying us and branding us within the global wellness space, being the wellness revolution. That is not a $5 million industry, not a $1 billion industry. It's a $1 trillion industry. Nobody is going to get tired of aging in reverse. Anti-aging and longevity space is exploding, and it's nowhere near ending. So just so you guys know, what we have is so special. You have to give yourself time to grow, to develop, to build these relationships. And we all have different timing in this business. But what I do know is consistency always wins. We're not in crowded categories. We're not in beauty and supplements and skincare and weight loss and trying. We created a category within ourselves. And then just the final thing, I don't know if you guys are watching what's going on with this documentary. I saw it in October and I thought, oh, wow. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat. I know you and Jay were too. I mean, it's so good. They showed it late at night. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to fall asleep. It was so good. The more that I'm diving deep, I was on some calls with Meredith last week. Do you guys realize what this documentary Code of Creation is going to do for us? Those people who are never going to show up on a Zoom, don't want to talk about it because it's network marketing, they are going to listen. This is going to give us so much credibility and brand awareness. It's going to be streaming on major platforms and here in the next couple of months. This is going to be huge for us. Instead of saying, hey, let me explain this patch to you, you can go, hey, have you seen our new documentary on Netflix? Huh? No other network marketing company has ever done that. So just a little like Mickey Willis. Most people have seen Mickey Willis before. He's a well-known man. He's the one who produced our documentary. He just posted this on his Facebook page a couple days ago, and he's been developing documentaries for a very long time. And he said, in my years of making movies and submitting them to film festivals, which was the Beverly Hills Film Festival, a really big deal, I have never received such detailed feedback as we got on our movie Code of Creation from Independent Film Studio Institute. And then you can read what one of the critics wrote about the documentary if you go to his Facebook page. Guys, this is a big deal. It's a big deal. I don't really think we understand what this is going to do for us as a brand. So I'm just really excited for the future. Lifeweight is, there. I've talked to Meredith with everything going on. They have so many incentives they're rolling out over the next 6 to 12 months to create massive momentum. There's so much exciting things happening and going to happen. So that's me. That's it, Kyle. I hope it came across,
Good.
but I just love what we're doing and where we're at.
Good. I love it. I love hearing it. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate you sharing. Jay, do you want to say anything before I go on another little rant?
I mean, you guys did such a great job. I mean, I will say, to me, like, my wife, was talking about Kendall, and we love her, and we just was really shocked by a decision. But people make decisions all the time that are best for them, and that's what we have to take in consideration if it was best for her. But I will say, being outside of the direct sales space, it's no different. I was in corporate America. I owned agencies. I had 140 employees at one time before I sold my business. And, we would have staff, when someone would leave, they're like, oh my God, why did they leave? And it's like, because it was best for them. And we never freaked out because, God works in mysterious ways is what I always said to my team. And their mission is different in life than your mission. And if you feel it's best for you too, then I think you should consider that. But if this affects you and makes you think differently, then you're not in the right place, right? If you look at this situation like Devin and myself and Kyle, like, listen, it's not going to veer what I believe, what Sarah just said, right? I mean, we are with a company that has a leader and a genius running it, and I just feel like there is no other company out there that I would rather be with, as well as what this does for humanity. Like, let's take the money out of the situation. Like, if you care about, what you're representing and what you're doing and what this does for humanity. I mean, whenever I do the testimonial call, I'm always just so blown away by the testimonials and what this actually does. It just recharges me and gives this, not that I need more validation, but it just validates it more and more and more. And so being a part of something like this, I remember sitting at the first convention, and when David was talking, that's when the Wellness Revolution thing came to me. I was like, this is way more than a device. This is a revolution that's going to help people around the world. And then the next year I went, I just was like, how did I get in this room? Like, how did God put me in this room? Like, how am I so lucky to be the few? Because we are the few, you guys. There's very, very few of us compared to what it's going to be in 5 years or 10 years when this thing takes off. And so how am I so lucky to be in here right now? At this moment in time, to be able to help all these humans. I mean, because I don't know about you guys, but I would say 99.9% of the people that I talk to about this device have no idea that this thing exists. I mean, I even in my presentation, I'm always just shocked. Like, you haven't heard of this thing before? Like, I thought everyone knew about this, and literally nobody knows about this device. Nobody. And so that's what I love about this opportunity. So the Kindle thing shouldn't concern you. People make decisions for themselves, and I think that we are a part of the best thing that's exists today and that's ever going to exist. I don't think there's going to be another David Schmidt, like there's not going to be, another Michael Jordan or a LeBron James or a Kobe Bryant. I mean, he is a one-of-a-kind person that is developing things that, we'll never see in our time again. And, AI is pretty cool, but to me, this is beyond AI, because AI can't make me younger. AI can't make me better. AI can't, take pain out of my body. So I'm just happy to be running with you guys and doing this. And again, we want to talk about this because every time there's an elephant in the room when something like this happens, because Kendall was on a leader of ours. She was on a platform. She did really well, and I think it's important to not like brush it under the carpet and always be upfront. And that's what our leaders do. We're going to have the tough conversations. We're going to talk about the tough things, because if you don't, then it's like, why is nobody talking about this? And so I think it's important. And listen, if you guys ever have questions, our leadership team wants those questions. If you guys have, any advice or things that we could do better, Pixie is sent us messages. We will make things as a team. It's a democratic society. It's not we're gonna make all the decisions for you guys. So thank you guys for being here, and Kyle, thanks for doing this again. I'm just here to learn, and you're great at this, and I think you guys should show up to this every single week, because Kyle is going to deliver, and Sarah's going to deliver on the things that really count in this business. Because I believe, you guys, mindset is 100% of what our business is. Like what he was talking about, like the practical things and the blocking and tackling and running the plays. That's all stuff that you guys all know how to do. But if you don't have the right mind every day, you're not going to get out and do the do. So thanks for doing this, Kyle.
Hey, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you for what you shared. And yeah, so to put a bow on that, your leaders, we love the Weldons. We want nothing but the best for them. So I just want to make that very, very clear. Genuinely, just like if one of y'all left, I would say, I wish you the very best. So, all right, here we go. Now, real quick, I want to leave you with a few things today. There's a quote by Ken Blanchard, who's an amazing thought leader, and he says this. He says, the key to success today is influence, not authority. And influence is fueled by love, not power. Now, think about that. Sarah said earlier on this call, there are some people with great influence that have been able to have great success because of their influence. Okay? What's influence? Well, first of all, Ken Blatcher says that's what success is about. It's about influence. Now, how do you get influence? Love, not power. So how do you want to find success here? Guys, you got to love others. You got to love others. Like the only way that you win in this industry is to love and serve others. Period. No, no one can. You know what? Sometimes I wish they would never even introduce anyone or tell anyone what their rank is. Ever. Because who cares about rank? No one cares about rank, right? And I guarantee you, can I tell you something about the people that are at the very top? They don't care about their rank either. They care about their check. They want to make sure their check is where it needs to be. Why? Because if their check is where it needs to be, it means that their team's checks are where that they need to be, right? And that's what it's all about. So to grow a big organization in this business, we got to love and we got to serve. It's not about manipulation. It's not about forcing people. It's not about twisting their arm. It's about loving them where they are, meeting a need that they have where they are. Okay, that's number one. Now, I've shared what I'm about to share a few other times, but I thought it was so applicable because I kind of find myself, I mean, full transparency, I find myself in a situation today that I haven't been in 5 years. And Jay, I mentioned this to you earlier. We moved like 10 minutes down the road, right? And we kind of renovated this older house that we're going to live in for a period of time, and life's great. We're so blessed. But through it, it was chaotic, like real chaotic. And I did all the renovations myself, and we hardly hired it. And Joe did as well, and she's painting cabinets, and it was just nuts. And then on top of that, her grandfather died, my grandfather died. It was a lot of stuff, right? But I say all that to say this: everything I just told you was an excuse. It was an excuse for a few things that I haven't done in my life. I have never felt worse physically. Just being transparent. I went to the gym for the first time 2 days ago, and I'm sore like I'm an eighth grade boy lifting weights for the first time. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I've never felt worse. I've never fit into my clothes worse. Like, I'm like, do we have smalls? Because the other shirts aren't fitting me. I need to wear Joe's clothes because when I don't work out, I shrink. Like, I don't feel good. I don't feel good. And I'm reminded of a quote that I'm going to tell you, and it's going to hurt a little bit, but I'm telling you this because it's me. It says, you are what you eat, you look like you live, and you earn what you're worth. Now, I want you to think about that. You are what you eat. We know this is true scientifically. What you put in your body is what you're made up of, right? That's true. You look like you live. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you eating the things you need to be? Are you actually working out and living the lifestyle you want to live? Are you over drinking? Are you over smoking? Are you stressed out? I mean, like you see those things on somebody, right? It's very easy. I think one of the greatest equalizers uh, that I love personally is physical fitness, and I'll tell you why. Okay, hear me out. Because when I walk into a room and I see somebody and they're physically somewhat fit, I know what it takes to get there, right? We all do. And I immediately know something about that person. I know they're disciplined. I know they do hard things. I know they say no to things that they want because they want to have what things that they don't have, right? Like I understand the life that they live to get that. And it's one of the only things I think in life that can't be bought. Can't buy your physical fitness. And so a lot is said by the way, in my opinion, that somebody takes care of themselves. Now we're all different. We all have different body types. We all have different, things in our life and ages and all kinds of stuff. That doesn't mean that you have to have a six pack or I don't think you take, no, 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 no. I'm just saying in general, you know what I'm talking about. Does somebody care about themselves physically? It says a lot about them. You are what you're worth. I mean, you earn what you're worth. That's kind of a harsh statement. And you're like, really? I mean, our worth ultimately is infinite, right? Like we're priceless. We were bought with the price, but we're priceless because we're image bearers of the Father, right? But on this side of heaven, we have to work in this world to earn money. And yeah, God blesses our work. We sow, He produces the harvest. But guys, it's about how much we sow and the way that we sow through love or through authority, right? That is ultimately going to be the blessing of our harvest. And so in many, many ways, what we earn is what we're worth, meaning the worth that we have to the marketplace, the value creation. My buddy who came from a billionaire home and actually, his grandpa created a string of banks in the Northeast. He sold it for like $2.5 billion. He gave every bit of money away, did not pass any of it on to the next generation, gave it all away. And my friend, he's third generation. This was his grandpa, right? He said, Kyle's the greatest thing my grandpa ever could have done. He saved our family by giving away his wealth. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. Well, this guy has written a book. His name's Scott Donald. He's written a book called Value Creation Kid. Guess what? He's a multimillionaire. His parents are Why? Because of what they did, because of the worth and the value creation that they created and gave to the marketplace. It's about the value that we can create, right? So in many ways, we are getting paid for what we're worth. Now, three things about that. Again, I'm rehashing for some of you that have been on our calls lately, but these are the last three things. And these are life principles that I was, again, reminded of myself. Hey, I'm not doing a very good job in some of these areas. There's some priorities that nothing else matters. This lights in the kitchen can wait for a little bit, right? A few other things that they can wait. There's certain things that I value in my life that I show my value by appreciating because what you appreciates. Are you with me? What you appreciate appreciates. And so when you stop appreciating things that you say you appreciate, they depreciate. Okay? What do you appreciate? Number one, how you do anything is how you do everything. I've said this many times. I've said this many times. I've still yet to find somebody that is just a sloppy mess. Their home is a wreck. Their car is a wreck. Their schedule is a wreck. Their hair's a wreck. Their clothes are always a wreck. But man, they're like uber successful. I just haven't found somebody, right? How you do anything is how you do everything. And man, you talk about reminded. I'm so reminded so many times throughout the day about this. I'll go like this morning. I was at Home Depot at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I push a cart all the way out to my truck, right, and I throw stuff in there. And man, I could easily just leave that cart right there in that little grassy area, And I'm like, how you do anything is how you do everything. It was 45 Carrie this morning here, and so I'm like, all right, here we go. Cart all the way back in. How you do one thing is how you do everything, guys. It matters. The little things matter. It's a way that you're training your brain your memory of your brain, but also literally your muscle memory that you do things a certain way. And it matters. It translates into this business. Number two, I'm kind of reiterating here. You're either getting paid for the decisions that you've made in the past or you're paying for them now. I sit here today, I'm paying for a horrible lifestyle decision over the last 5 weeks. Eating like crap, staying up way too late, not working out, and just getting stuff done that I needed to get done. I'm paying for it. And it hurts. And it's going to hurt to get back in it because it's going to take me twice as long to get back to where I was prior. It'll take me 10 weeks to get where I was 5 weeks ago, right? I am paying for the decisions that I made. Guys, that's true in this business. As we sit here today, your income, right? You are either getting paid for the decisions that you made over the last year and a half, or you're paying for them and you're not where you need to be because you didn't make the decisions that you knew you should have made. Asterisk, there are people on this call, okay, that have made the right decisions and have not seen the fruit yet. That's a big asterisk. That's that's part of life and business. Not everyone's fruit or not everyone's harvest, right, comes up at the same time. And I'm thankful that it doesn't because there's only one person that knows when our harvest is supposed to come. That's our creator, right? We don't have control over that. We have control of sowing the seed. He produces the harvest. So if you're that person, if you're sowing, you're like, when's my time? When's my time? When's my time? Trust me, his timing is better than your timing. He's going to honor the work that you're doing. I literally, I'll just give you another real life example here. Joe and I bought a piece of property actually right there. Um, it was a year ago now. And when we knew we were moving to Franklin, we put our home for sale. And I'm like, Lord, you got to sell our home. Like, there's no way that we can keep our home and go up there and still rent or do whatever it is plus build. Well, he didn't. And we sit here today and it's still not sold. And for actually, it's been a year and a half. I'm like, why is our home not sold? Like, God, what are you doing? Right? This is hurting really bad financially to maintain a home in Florida that we don't even use and to pay for that land and to pay for a rental. Like, it is killing us. It still is. I'm like, what's happening? Well, about 60 days ago, the house I'm sitting in, which is the land adjacent to our property, came available. And through a course of lots of talks with the owners and all kinds of negotiations, we ended up purchasing it. Now we have double the land. Now we were able to get double the land, have a place to live, get out of our rental, and increase our footprint. I'm like, and so when we closed on this 30 days ago, I'm like, God, that was really cool. Like, thank you for that. I'm so thankful that we didn't sell our home 6 months ago because we'd be building over there. And what we found out was somebody was going to buy this before we did, and they weren't going to make it very nice. It was going to kind of be trashed up. They were going to bring in some portable buildings, and it we would have been like, oh my gosh, that's not what we needed right beside us. God protected us, right? His timing above ours, even though I'm so confused for so long on why we can't sell our home. Let me tell you something else about, and I'm not trying to preach to you. I'm just giving you examples in my life, right? About so we closed on this property 45 days ago, and I'm like, okay, you can sell our home now, right, Lord? Like, thank you for giving us this piece of property. Now can you sell our home? Because now expenses are even higher. But you told us to buy this. I know you did. Won't sell, won't sell, won't sell. We've had two contracts in the last 30 days that we have physically signed that have people have backed out for no reason. And I'm like, what is happening? What is happening? Last Thursday, I hear very clearly from the Lord after spending a couple days with our builder, hey, you're not supposed to build with that guy. You need to tell him no, even though for a year you've been planning on it. And I'm like wrestling with this. I'm like, I don't know how to say this. I mean, we've been kind of quote unquote, he's been not working with us because we had nothing to really work on. But for a year, we were like, yeah, you're going to build our home. But I heard very clearly, Joe confirmed it, another person confirmed it. And I'm like, I got to have a hard conversation. Here we go. So I had a hard conversation yesterday, which I don't like because I'm a people pleaser. And he actually responded really well. And I'm like, thank you, Lord. But this morning, when I was but after Home Depot, I went to the gym. I'm sitting there and I'm reading and I'm just praying and I'm like, you know what, God, like you're so cool because we would have gotten to a situation that I just know deep down in my spirit would have been really bad with this guy. Nothing against him, but man, it would have been a bad situation as he's building our home, right? We would have it would have been horrible. How cool that I can literally tell him yesterday, hey, our house isn't under contract. We don't have another builder. I have no idea if my house is going to sell. I just know we're not supposed to use you. And I can honestly tell him that and then walk in freedom. And are you with me? Like, do you see how God is just protected, 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 even though I felt like I've sown, I've sown, I've sown. I'm like, where is it? That's what he does. And so just a little encouragement for you today, okay? Just hear me. If you're not where you want to be, which by the way, I'm not where I want to be, I guarantee you there's no one on this call, including your leaders, that would say they're where they want to be. It's okay. It's okay. You're where you are today for a reason. For a reason. You're where you are because you're supposed to be where you are. Now, I am not saying that your bad decisions in the past is what you should have done. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you're here right now, you're listening to this call, and maybe just maybe it's hitting you a little bit in the gut or in the heart or in the spirit, and you're like, man, that makes sense. And I need to hear that because I believe in this. I believe in these patches. I believe in David. I believe in Wellness Rev. I just maybe need some more time. I just need a little more time because remember, you're one conversation away. One, that's all, from a totally different life in this business. One, that's it. So never forget that. So again, those are some real life examples I just felt like God told me to share. Do you guys want to share anything before? It's already been 30 minutes. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
Kyle, I need to go. I just wanted to say one thing that I think is really, really important for everyone on this call to hear. And that is the only bad thing about this call today is there's only 50 people on here. I think all of your team needs to be hearing this message every single week. They need to be on the training calls. Like, I think that's a mission you guys should try to make, even if it's just, hey, it's at 12:30, it's a lunchtime meeting. You're gonna love what these people are talking about. Get your team on these calls, you guys, because it's gonna benefit you greatly to have people show up to these calls and hear people like Devin, Sarah, and Kyle. So that's the only thing that I have. Kyle, what a great message today, brother. Thank you so much. I needed to hear that personally. We're going through things as well. So I think, God spoke through you today to me. So thanks for that message. But you guys, don't waste this amazing opportunity when this guy could charge, multi thousands of dollars to speak to people. So thanks for that message today, Kyle.
Hey, thanks, Jay. Thank you, man. Guys, we love you. This is kind of what we do on a Wednesday. We just kind of share from our heart. So here you go. It is what it is. Yes, this is being recorded. We'll post it afterwards. Very thankful for you guys. So thankful, honestly. Every time anybody is speaking, a long time ago, I guess a mentor said, when you're speaking at somebody, you're speaking at them like you're speaking, right? You got one finger and you're pointing kind of in that direction at them. Well, what happens when you have one finger and you're pointing at them? You got three pointed right back at you. So I promise you, every time you hear somebody speak, it does three times for them what it does for you. And so I say that to say I'm always humbled by you guys hopping on here and honored to share and hopefully help. So love you guys. Y'all have a great Wednesday. Bye.